I didn't see you there. Welcome to We Are Quilters. My name is Lorrie. Come on in. Let's talk about some things quilty, sewing, and crafty. I was just getting ready to put this fabric from my Sign of 4 quilt over in the scrap bin because that's all that's left of these little tiny pieces that will not fit into that quilt or another block. I don't think. Maybe I need to do some measuring. Anyway, let's get started with today's 8 little topics. I hope you grab yourself a drink. I'm having some soda in a glass with lots of ice, so I don't have too much caffeine today. Ooh, I'd like to sleep tonight. At any rate, grab yourself a drink. It's a little warmer here today. A whole 32 degrees instead of 11, which is much better. And let's start talking about some of the things. I have had good feedback from topics from last week and during this week that I will be sharing with you as I talk today. Let's get started. Topic number 1. Today, I have a few things for Block Parade. Let me show you a better picture of the berry pie quilt. It is getting bigger. I do have the side pieces done, but not the corners. So now it has 2 ends, and I'm having some challenges squaring it up at the top there, but it'll work out okay. It will be just fine. And pieces are falling together, and I'm using up some scraps. So that is all working out well. The other thing I have for you, and many of you already saw this on Wednesday, it is my sample block for Sign of 4, the quilt along. And I've had very good responses to that. I hope that you're getting everything printed and organized and you're ready to go, because I am ready for you. So, slim, small block parade, but with some big pieces. Hopefully I'll have more next week. I'll get more done over the weekend. It's supposed to be snowy and yucky, so I won't be going anywhere, but I'll get to sit and sew and sew and sew. Topic number 2 is found a friend. Now, most of these, since the beginning of the year, YouTube has been popping up channels that are about the same size as my channel, with about the same number of subscribers, more or less views. And if it looks intriguing, I'll watch just about anything, because there isn't much on TV these days. We've been watching a lot of old movies or reruns of shows that we really like. My friend today, her name is Holly Ann Knight, and she is her channel is Holly Ann Knight at String and Story. I'll put a link at the very end of the video. Use the link at the end, because otherwise you will have a challenge to find her channel. She is a quilt shop owner in Georgia, and a lot of her videos are good idea type lessons. The video that I was watching that intrigued me was called 5 Myths About Quilting Your Own Quilts. And she talks, and I agree with her. I thought she was humorous. That's what got my attention and kept me watching. She was talking about something grumpy, your grumpy brain, or I don't remember how she put it, but she was humorous. And she does, in all those videos that she does have some good videos on free motion quilting, if you're interested in trying that again. And she has a video that's titled something like Practice Free Motion Quilting and Actually Improve, which I think is funny, because the more you practice, I don't know how you would not improve unless you sew your finger to the quilt. Just saying. But I think that would be pretty hard. I did notice that she likes to use the little grippy gloves when she was in her free motion videos. But give her a watch. The 5 myth video was interesting to watch. Holly Ann not only has a regular video list, but she also has live things scheduled. And if you click on live while you're at her channel and those playlists are showing, it will show you when her lives are scheduled for. I didn't realize that that's how those popped up. I'm still a little intimidated by live because I'm afraid I'm the only one that would be here and then I would be really sad. So maybe eventually I'll be brave because many of you are not in my time zone that watch. There are people all across the United States, and there's a big difference from one side of the U.S. to the other side in time zones. And I'm not staying up till 1 in the morning, so it's a normal time to watch a quilt show. Sorry, I no. Topic number 3. What you doing? What aren't I doing? First of all, because of, and thank you, Anne, because of watching Space Maker videos on YouTube, now I can't stop rearranging things. As I sit here, I see this that needs to go in another spot, or that needs to go in another spot. So first of all, every time I sit down, I get back up and start moving things. That's the first thing. I'm playing Space Maker. The second thing, I have been quilting on the Study and Scarlet quilt on the big machine. That is slow progress. Third, I have been working on the Berry Pie quilt behind me, doing a little more improv, work on that for an hour or two, and then I move on to something else, usually back to topic number 1, which would be space making and putting something away. And that's the vicious cycle I seem to be in. So it'll be all right. That's the good thing about being trapped inside when it's really cold. You get things put away and squared away, and it will be all right. And it's contagious. My husband has not watched any of the Space Maker videos, but last night he cleaned out the desk drawers in the living room because I've been cleaning here and there. It's contagious on his own. Just saying. Topic number 4, hidden treasure. Last week, I showed you the shelves that are behind the design wall, and I said, oh, let me know what you want to see. Well, I had a good response from you, and I wrote down what everybody wanted, a little slips of paper, and I'm going to pick, and that is what we will look at today. Let me see which one it is. It is Julie, and she said she would like to see the wooden box on the hidden shelf. So let's take a look at the wooden box on the hidden shelf. Okay, Julie, here it is, the wooden box. Let me sit this down. It is rather dusty, and we can take a look at what's inside. Let me move these out of the way. There's the other 3 requests. We will look at those in the next couple weeks. Let me zoom out just a tiny bit. What is in the box? Dust. There's nothing in the box. Oh, I can't let that happen. I'm going to have to move this down where, interesting, a jewelry piece. At one point, I think that's what I had in the box, were jewelry pieces. But, oh, that needs maybe glued. I think I will dust this off, keep this out and use it, and I will put some other project boxes up where this was. Thank you, Julie, for suggesting this. Topic number 5. Out of sight. So, this is a little different than treasure, because treasure is something I didn't know what was in that wooden box, did I? But treasure's usually, in the summertime, it's yard sale finds, it's finds from flea markets, it's just fun stuff. But usually things that are bought, purchased, given, that kind of stuff. But out of sight, stuff that's hidden and tucked away. Anne mentioned that she has been processing scraps. And she was thinking about using 1.5-inch scraps, just scraps for the blocks in the sign of 4, big blocks, because she's been using so many scraps. So let me show you, because I've still been processing scraps, and you inspire me to do crazy things, just saying. So in December, I processed scraps for a month and kept track. And in January, I also processed scraps and kept track. I think I'm going to do this for a while because it's just fun. My husband thinks I have lost my mind doing all this extra little math. And I think he was just shocked that I did all this extra little math. Calculators make things so much easier. Just saying. Let's take a look at my chart. My chart for December, and I was busy, and it was about 6 1/3 yards. So then I skip ahead to my chart for January, and you see that I did not cut scraps for as many days, but it still worked out to 6.36 yards, which is a little over 6 1/3 yards. And I can tell you why that happened. There were more bigger pieces that got scrapped. And I also calculated the 1.5 and 2.5 inch strips this time. And the first time I did not. So my goal is to get more scraps processed. Let me show you some pictures of my scrap bins at the moment. And somehow, even though I saved 12 plus yards of fabric, the scraps have multiplied like rabbits in the bin. Topic number 6. Thoughts and challenges. Well, since I'm trying to reform myself and put things away, one of the hardest things for me to do is put away stuff from a project. But I needed that project bin for Wednesday. So let me show you my process for cleaning out the Study in Scarlet quilt fabrics from that box. It is hard to believe that after 14 months, we have all of these fantastic blocks together in a quilt top, and I have some beautiful quilt tops to show you at the end of the show today for viewer contributions. Not just this, but other things too. So now this is one of those hard parts for me. I will put this pattern away. I will take it out of this binder and put it away in this, it's not really a binder, it's a thing with pockets. And I've been putting all the things in there like the patriotic quilt. But the hard part for me is emptying the container. And here's the container where I've been keeping all the fabrics. I mean, let's just take a look at all the fabrics. Let me take the lid off. Normally I keep my book in this first layer. This is a 3-layer, you saw the 3-layer container. And remember, way back when, this was my inspiration for choosing the colors for the quilt. Look at all those colors, 18 colors. So I had a whole rainbow to choose from. And I think I will probably add this piece on the back somewhere when I am all done. And maybe even this piece, because it goes with it. And there's an extra block. I did this one 2 ways. I did piecing and I did applique, machine stitch applique. This will probably go on the back also, or it might go in the orphan block container. And here I just have some bags and some pieces that I need to take out and deal with. That is an empty layer. The second layer, a big piece of pink that I didn't realize I had because it was on the second layer and not in the layer with all the other fabrics. So I will take these out and put them in their boxes of smaller pieces, because these ones are clearly 2.5, and this can be cut for scrap. And then I will put this in with my solids. And then, what is this? I did this, I forgot all about this. When I first designed this quilt, I taped pieces of paper together and I drew it out because I didn't know how to do customized blocks on EQ8. So there it is, this super huge, and there I even drew out chapter this, chapter that. So this needs to go in with the pattern. And there it is with just the red. And there it is with just the blocks. So this needs to go in with the pattern. Oh wait, there's one more. Now there's just the red. Well, I guess I showed those all to you. So this needs to go in with the pattern. I had forgotten I'd even drawn that out. And there is my cheat sheet for draw a layout for blocks of different sizes. I need to put that someplace where I can find it, like in my green binder of information. Let me stick that over there. And then we have empty layer 2. Layer 3. This is the one you want to see. Layer 3 is all the other fabrics. Got a good chunk of background fabric here. I am going to, for the sake of today, just put them in a box right here beside. I know that one of the things that I need to box right here beside. One of the things I need to do is I need to do some fabric sorting into colored bins. And the only thing I'm going to pull out right now is, like, this piece is too small, so it's going in the scrap bin. And this piece is going in scrap bin. I'm going to leave these 2.5s right there. And again, scrap bin. So some things have been used up so much that they are not going back in the big bin of fabric. That one can go back in the big bin like this. These background pieces, so small that they will just be scrapped. And there wasn't much of this fabric left, this background fabric, scrapped. Oh, that can go in the, ooh, scrap. Oh, look at all these little pieces, measured and scrapped. Extra pieces for something that I cut. I think I'm going to lay those with, might go on the back. I love this fossil fern fabric. Oh, yeah, it can be scrapped. Lots of pieces got used up. Ooh, more scraps. So this did accomplish quite a bit of scrapping up the fabric. Oh, that can all go in scraps. Oh, I think that's actually a fat quarter. That is a very small piece. So I am sorting things out. Wow, I'm going to end up with more scraps. Oh, there's a nice sized chunk of green. Nice sized chunk of purple. I had teal like that. And there was pink like that. Nice sized chunk of, oh, that feels nice. Floral. I know that there are bigger pieces of this somewhere else. Nice. I don't know if I actually used any of that. Another solid piece. This might be the biggest chunk of this red that is left. Scrap. Another solid piece of red. Scrap black. That looks like it's a fat quarter. I don't know if I used that either. Oh, a solid piece of blue and some great stripy green that's going back in there. So this is what is left. These are all the pieces that are scrap, and I have couple pieces that are solids that will go back in that bin. So now it is cleaned out and ready to receive fabric for the next quilt. Topic number 7, the Quilter's Kitchen. It is the first week of the month, the first Friday. So we normally look at a book, and this is a hardcover book. It is copyright 2008. It's been around for a while. I'm sure it is still available. Jennifer Cheverini's Elm Creek Quilts novels are very good stories and have been around for a while. So this one, I think I got it on clearance when Border Books went out of business, but I'm not sure. I do have a couple of her quilt books, and I have some of her novels, but not all of them. And I know I bought this because the pictures in the front are all doable quilt blocks, things that we all have the skill set to do or to try and then do. I don't know if it's the same in the back or not. Yes, it's the same in the back. And there she is. I like this book for a couple of reasons, and I'm only going to just talk about it. There's not much to see, but it has story, and then it has the recipes that go with the story. And all of her books, they don't have recipes in them, but a lot of things are centered around food and parties at the wonderful big house that her friend Sil. 3-bean salad is what that is marking. And I have apple strudel marked. Interesting. So it is just a good read and lots of good recipes. Let me show you another series. Well, I have a few of the series. I bought them at a yard sale on the cheap, but it goes right along with the kitchen thing. Now, this has nothing to do with quilting, but it does have to do with cooking. So, Joanna Fluke, and there's a whole series, and all the recipes that she talks about, the main character, Hannah Swenson, is always in trouble and finding mysteries. But she runs a bakery, so there's tons of good recipes in every book that she puts out. And they did a series on Hallmark from these books. So these are available too, and they have wonderful looking recipes. Makes me want to make all kinds of desserts that I shouldn't eat. But as you know, if you're going to sit and sew and sew and sew, and you are responsible for another human being, you better have a bunch of cookbooks like these to throw things in the crock pot and make wonderful dishes. Just saying. Sometimes you can get away with it. But that is it for Literary Corner for this week. Cookbooks, or stories with recipes in them. What kind of books are you reading that have both? Do you read either one of these series? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Here's a sneak peek at the magazine we'll be looking at for the rest of this month. Topic number 8, my favorite part of the show, viewer contributions, and this is the best showing we have had for quite a while, but we've all been stuck inside because of the cold, so we have all been busy. First off, we have from Anne pictures from her craft retreat, and it looked like they were having so much fun. She sent pictures of an herb quilt, and I love the border or the sashings that are between these blocks. Fantastic colors. Her study in scarlet quilt. Beautiful. Very nice. And mine actually turned out kind of pinky, and hers is more medium tones. I love it. Beautiful. And she sent a second email. I'm going to suggest this for quilt camp in May, that she had a board of statistics. This just made me laugh. The board of statistics. How many bobbins, blah, 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 blah. I love it. And that would be great to keep everybody kind of gathered together and laughing about something. That would be wonderful. I'm going to suggest that for quilt camp. Thank you, Anne, for sharing. Diana, her study in scarlet quilt is the center, catches your attention immediately. And then you can slowly, your eye wanders around to the outside. So she has bold and then some subtle colors too. Good job picking those fabrics, Diana. You always do such nice work. And I know you have some bonus blocks to go with that because you are the queen of bonus blocks. Barb sent a picture of she said it was, I had talked about panel quilts, and I know that some of you have expressed an interest in panel quilts, so that we need to do a panel quilt at some point. Maybe after I get this berry pie off of the board. That would be a great topic for a Monday. Not next Monday, but a Monday nonetheless. So Barb said that she was inspired by our talk about panel quilts, and she bought some, they're not panels, but they're strips with, they're sort of panels in a stripe. And she was inspired, and she said this quilt will be for Fern, who is a lady at quilt camp, who her goal in life, Fern's goal in life, is to make sure that every little girl that wants one has a doll with an outfit, and she has a list of things, accessories, and clothing that she makes sure every doll has. And sometimes she rescues dolls, sometimes she gets them from other people, and I forget the number of dolls she has rescued. And they always come with a little quilt. So Barb plans on donating this little quilt to Fern's doll Fern's Orphan Doll Project is how Barb had it worded in her message. So this is very cute. What a great use for, you might think, oh, this fabric is so dark, but the way she did the outside side borders makes it brighter, and knowing that it's going to be a doll quilt is just fantastic. Next up we have my friend Diane, and she did the murder mystery. I did the murder mystery a couple of years ago, and I passed on this one because we've been busy here. So she sent pictures, and the thought on this, the takeaway from Diane's quilt is, take a picture. When you rearrange it one way, take a picture, rearrange it a different way, and then you have a picture to go back to. You don't have to remember what you did, what you had placed where. It makes it easier to pick the layout you want. So she decided on the layout that has the swirls in the corners, because that way the focal point could be that beautiful center block, and the swirly blocks did not detract from it when they were out in the corners. Next up, we have my retired friend, Amy. She said she had an ugly spot on her chimney. So she decided, it was one of those metal plates that they used to put over when they took out the kitchen stove in some older houses. They put a metal plate over the chimney just to cover up the hole, or cover up the concrete that they shoved in that hole so that you didn't die from smoke inhalation or carbon monoxide poisoning. So Amy made this fantastic teacup quilt and put her Fiesta ware beside it, because it is made, the quilt is made to look like the Fiesta ware she collects. Fantastic job, and so cute. So cute. And last but never least, we have Marion with scrap quilt. I love the way Marion, she said, oh, it's the same quilt pattern, but the fabric is never the same, and that changes the whole way things look. So good job, Marion. I love the fabric. Very nice, very bright, very colorful, just what we need on a cold winter's day. Thank you all for contributing this week. What a fantastic way to end this week, inspired by other people and what they're doing. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I hope the weather stays mild wherever you are. I know that out in the West, you were getting some nicer weather than we were. And the other day, it was warmer in Alaska than it was in Florida. Okay. Strange, strange, strange. But anyway, enjoy the weather. Stay safe, stay warm, and so. And show me your work when you're all done. See you on Monday for Miscellaneous Monday. Bye. Bye.